All right, y'all. I mean, I know there's only going to be like 25 people watching this eventually, which is fine. I don't mind because I do this because I love it. I love talking comic books. I love talking to people. And I love connecting with people. And I got to tell you, I did not expect to connect with someone as fast and as like someone a kindred spirit, like literally someone who I feel like can vibe me on every level. Star Wars, comics, music. And I just found this out in the last 10 minutes, literally 15 minutes maybe. Okay, 20 minutes. But anyway, I'm excited to talk about comics tonight, Star Wars comics with my new friend here, Darth Chaco or Chaco. Is it Chaco? I'm so bad.
No,
I know the real name.
It's Chaco.
Chaco.
Some people call me Choco, and one of my friends calls me Coco, which I love.
Choco? Dang, dude.
Yeah, it was originally Darth Chocolate, but that name was taken.
Right.
And then the platform, TikTok, I got much bigger on that platform than anywhere else, so I had to change it everywhere else. So
you know, I tried TikTok for a minute. I don't know if I'm too old for it or what, man. I don't know. I don't know.
For sure.
But you told me you're legit on it, man. You're like a baller on it from what I hear.
No, I have a decent following. I'm at like 142,000.
Only 140,000. Only that much.
But when it comes to like my wife gets mad at me because when it comes to like social media and stuff, I don't post anything that's not Star Wars. Like I had to turn it this because that's the only thing I ever post. If it's not Star Wars or comic book related or stuff like that. So I made a separate account. That's where all this stuff comes out of. And I haven't posted on my regular account for years. And she's like, you didn't even post about our wedding. And I was like, I stopped posting like a year before. I only posted on social media to get a wife.
Oh my God. Oh my God. This is the best conversation ever. This is the best. Oh my God.
All I'm saying is, like, if you're looking for something and you find it, you stop looking, right?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Holy crap. You're not wrong. Holy crap. Oh God. This is amazing. Oh my God. How long have you been married?
It's been 3 years now.
Okay.
Three years next month.
Right on, man. Congratulations. That's awesome. I've been married. Well, I've been with my wife. Not married since 2006. Got married in 2000. Yeah, got married in 2013. We were at a long engagement. It was crazy. We were crazy. It was nuts. But today, for everyone to know, Darth Chaco here. I've discovered him the last month. I love his stuff. Love how genuine he is. And it's like, hey, it just randomly, hey, you should come on. He's like, okay, and it all worked out. And basically for this show, I read a lot of Star Wars comics over the weekend. And for those who know me well, know I'm a giant Star Wars fan. I'm on a Star Wars podcast, been on it for a long time. I've been podcasting for about Star Wars for quite a while. And, I love it. And I just, for whatever reason, I had been not avoiding, but I just hadn't read or the current stuff in a while. We're talking a long time. Not sure what or you don't even know what I've read. I think, right?
No, I don't. I mean,
a little bit. You saw a little bit probably when I pictures.
Yeah, I saw a little bit from the pictures.
Okay.
But no, funny enough. I was also because I'm a massive Star Wars fan, obviously. Reading a ton of stuff, reading a ton of books. I when I moved to San Diego, I had this job where I'm fixing cosmetic damage on used cars, and so I had headphones on for like 14 hours a day, and so that got me into audiobooks and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I caught up on everything. Like I'd read everything in Legends or just about, and then had caught up on canon. And then when I would listen to like podcasts and stuff, I get irritated because they're speculating on stuff, and you're like, "That's wrong for these reasons." Like, but I understand why. But and not to be like a douche about it, but like okay, you guys you don't know yet. And then I discovered this little podcast called Blaster Cannon.
Oh no way!
And
Okay.
so I listened to Blaster Cannon religiously for a long time. And
Wow.
so, and I was like, oh, okay, people who actually reading this stuff and they're catching up. And so, so yeah, when you reached out, I was like, P Thug? Is that P Thug?
What?
Like, yeah, I might be able to make it. That's cool.
Dude, Blaster Cannon. No way. No way. Dang. Well, that's awesome. I Megan and Saf are, I miss them like crazy. We're busy. We're all doing, they're all doing they're super successful doing their things, and love them. I need to reach out to Megan. I haven't talked to Megan in a while. I've talked to Saf every once in a while on Twitter. She's always very, very encouraging for, the stuff that I'm doing. I really appreciate it. Love you guys. But yeah, when Den of Geek kind of said, hey, we're moving on, it was a bummer, but I understood. The times were tough at that time. I think that was pre-pandemic, I want to say. So, right, I think it was right before, I want to say. But yeah, it was a blast. It was, because we were doing the Force cast and we went into Blaster Cannon. And so, and Blaster Cannon was my name I came up with. Just want you guys to know that. I thought it was pretty clever myself. That's just me though. But that's rad. So how did you just randomly found our podcast?
Yeah, and you know why I found it too is I was using Google Podcasts. That was my preferred platform.
Sure.
And I think only the elites post there. that's my active theory. No, just finding other people that like for me when it comes to Star Wars, there's certain things that you'll love, certain things that you won't like, and all this stuff. Yeah. But anyone that's actively reading this stuff, you can't be actively reading it and be like toxic. You can't do both. It's not.
That's a good point. Yeah,
it's not possible because you can watch a TV show and still be a dick. But
yeah, you're right. Yeah, because a TV show,
read a book and then be like, I hate this, and keep going and read all the books.
That's a really good point, because it's easier to watch something and hate watch it than to hate read it. Hate reading it, you have to be dedicated to hate read it. Which is
be impressive.
No, exactly. Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. I'm like, I almost respect you if you hate read something. Like, I hate this so much when blah blah blah. Like, man, you've actually read the book. Okay, all right. Well, I can't really,
I did that once with Tom Clancy. That's a different.
Yeah, you're a better man than me, man. I'll never read Tom Clancy. No thanks. But
my dad's like, you're gonna love this, and he handed me a book, and it was a thick, and I read half of it, and I was like, I don't even know who's the main character. Like, what? I don't even.
Is it Tom?
Hate this so much. I
is that Harrison Ford? Is that the guy? Is it my thinking of the right guy? Red October? That same guy?
Probably. I think Rainbow Six is his most famous.
Oh yeah, that's him. Okay, yeah. Okay, all right.
They mostly just make video games out of his stuff now. I think it's better suited that way.
There you go. Right on. Well, so I finding someone to actually reads this stuff as much as I do, and I admittedly, again, this is comic binge, so I'm not going to get too far in the weeds on this one, but the novels I've fallen off a little bit. And it's mainly because I just don't like a lot of the novels they've been putting out, to be quite honest. The Thrawn books, I read 2 and I'm like, I'm done. I can't handle this. I know you've read them. I'm not sure. I haven't listened to your review yet, but I'm sure I've never been a super Thrawn guy, or Timothy Zahn guy, I should say. But just kind of, and again, I don't like the Padme novels. I'm just like, it's not my thing. The Thrawn's not my I mean, I like Thrawn, but just a whole book about him, I was like, I don't need a whole book. I did too. I'm well past my quota on that. But the High Republic, I've read most of the books on. The only ones I haven't read, and really quick before we get into comics, and I want to know your opinion of. We're pretty like-minded, so I'm going to see what you say. If you tell me you like these certain books, I'm going to be like, okay, I'll check it out. Is the kids book that Daniel Jose Older wrote, but I know you talked about him before the show. That one, and the one that is Justine Ireland just put out, where it's like the 3 of them on the cover, and the one's like this. I forgot what it's called. I forgot it.
Out of the Shadows.
Out of the Shadows. Okay. Yeah, I haven't read those.
Okay, so it sounds like you've read the Claudia Gray stuff
I have read the Claudia. Yep.
and the big ones. Okay, first of all, if Claudia Gray wrote it, read it. It's good.
We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
After the show. We'll talk about it after the show. Anyway.
But
okay.
For the other ones, it's hard to say. I enjoyed them, like, so Daniel Jose Older, the book that he wrote that just came out was oh my goodness, why the name is not coming to me, but it's a very small story. It's just a very small story. And if that's if you loved the grand scale of the Rising Storm, this isn't going to do it for you. It's just this one Padawan who's just like a big nerd who just wants to like stay home and build stuff with his erector sets. And I'm like, well, I relate to that. So
no, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, not selling me on it though. To be honest.
And so that's what I'm gonna say. If you're trying to catch up or keep up on things, that one is not going to be necessary for you to really get into and understand what's going on. Now, Out of the Shadows is an interesting book to me because that's the second Justina Ireland book.
Yeah,
it's interesting because it's written like a snowball falling down a hill.
Okay.
And so that's why it's also not my favorite, but it just builds and builds and builds, and you're like, what are we building to? You know?
Okay.
So it's a weird structured book.
Yeah,
that's kind of why I had a little bit harder of a time for it, but I'm enjoying all of the connected content.
Yeah.
And that book does have some pretty big implications for the overall story.
Interesting. Okay, now you've enticed me now. So, and for those who don't know, we're going to be talking about the High Republic a lot on this podcast, amongst Boba Fett and Darth Vader. I got pretty much caught up in all the Marvel High Republic comics, and I haven't caught up with the Star Wars IDW books yet. I'm only with the first 5. I have like the next 10 issues I haven't read. I did read Crimson Reign just for you. I did read it. So we'll talk about that. It's interesting. And again, I wasn't going to read it anyway, but I've been doing trades. Because of my, I'm not sure if you're familiar with my Canon shelf at all, but I buy everything with a spine and I put it on a Canon shelf. So that means like movies, it's any media goes on the Canon shelf. So I buy everything, so I get it regardless, even if I don't read it, just for my collection, my Star Wars collection, my Canon collection, if you will. But yeah, I'm like, I'm just gonna wait to read the comics because it's easy. It's just more enjoyable for me for Star Wars that way. I mean, I love single issues. I mean, I read them all the time, but for Star Wars, I just like sitting down reading the trades. It's fun. But I did read.
It's get pretty frustrating when you're like, okay, I need to know what happens next. Like,
exactly. So I mean, I understand. I do both a little bit, but I did read Crimson Reign for you. We'll review that at the end. But we'll talk about High Republic, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on, because I know you've gone on record saying it's your favorite Star Wars project kind of ever, right? I don't want you to put words in your mouth either, but that's accurate.
Yeah. I mean, prior to this, so I'm a big prequel fan, which is funny because if you look at my rankings, you would think that the prequels would be my lowest, but when you add in some other connective material, Clone Wars and all that stuff, it really brings it up. And then above that was the Old Republic. I loved the Old Republic and some of those stories, but the character work overall of the High Republic has been absolute killer. Yeah, I just love it.
It's for the High Republic, and this goes for the comics too. I mean, comics obviously are a huge part of this, whole story that we're getting. If I would say, almost, in my opinion, I've only read the two. I've read the young adult novel and the I would say the younger grade novels. I read one of each of those, and the main ones, and pretty much almost all the comic books at this point. I would say that the comics are probably and the main novels are probably the main ones you want to read. If you want to like to stick to like the main stuff, would you agree with that? That's the way I see it anyway.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you could read. I mean, each wave has a flagship book, and then there's the smaller stuff that comes around along with it and kind of adds some more context. But that's what makes all of this stuff so great because Avar Kriss is a badass, but if you're just reading the mainline stories and you don't see her like fighting big old plant monsters with Hutts riding on Rancors.
Oh, it's so rad. We'll get to that in a second. Yeah.
Yeah, but you see that stuff, and you know that this person, when they're talking about who's off screen, you know what they're doing, you know who they are, you know how badass they are, and you're excited to see them pop into the next book.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I Light of the Jedi is my favorite maybe Star Wars book ever. Like straight up, like I was jazzed to hell when I read that book. I thought Charles Soule, I mean, he's my favorite Star Wars comic writer of ever. Like straight up.
Vader 2017.
Oh yes. Right? Oh yeah. He also did the first Lando series, which is amazing.
The 5-issue one? That was so good.
Dude, so good. Am I right? So good. And 2017 is I think God tier Star Wars writing. I'll put that up against anything. Like it's so good. And again, it incorporated so many great elements. It does, just like any comic book run, there's always a little bit of dip. There's always a little one, but even his little dip like just goes right back into it when he goes back into Vader's castle and just it just blows your goddamn mind off.
Darth Moment, like
dude, Darth Moment, dude. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
He's an evil architect. How do you beat that? You know?
Oh god, it's so true. Oh god, Darth Moment is so good, like so good, and also the input. Okay, I'll be on this so far. I gotta pace myself. I'm gonna pace myself here. We'll talk about Darth Vader another time. I think we'll talk about it some other time. But no, Charles Soule, Light of the Jedi, I thought was an incredible book. Avar Kriss, the moment where she's sitting down and moves a lightsaber to again, musician to musician.
Yeah.
It hit me. I was like, all right, Charles Soule, you got me. You got me again. Like this is awesome. Like Avar Kriss is, dare I say, sir, underused in the High Republic so far.
So far, I think that's intentional. I don't know.
You think so?
We'll see.
Okay. I think you're right. I think you're right because she's easily one of my favorite characters, and we've seen her in the comics, but she's just not. She hasn't had that shining moment like where it's like, oh my god, like she is like the shit. You know what I mean? It's just kind of she's awesome, but I mean we haven't got like the real moment for her. I feel that not yet. I'll be honest. Before we move on to the comics, the last main book, and I always forget the name of the book. It's like Into the Storm. Is that what it's called?
Rising Storm.
Rising Storm. See, I always whatever. I wasn't a huge fan of that book. Gotta be honest. Okay. But Marchion Rowe, my boy, I'm a Marchion guy.
Oh yeah, I mean. And coming out soon, we got a whole Marchion Rowe big book comic that's coming out
by Charles Soule.
Yep,
I'm in. Like I so badly. See, I want to go in like spoilers about the book, but this is not the book binge. It's a comic binge. So I'm like, we'll talk later because I haven't heard. How about this on your show? Would you have a YouTube channel? Please. I mean, again, you have way more people than ever watch your show, and rightfully so. It's great. But do you have an episode that you talk about that book and like what maybe Marchion's doing?
I have a separate thing. So I also have like a little like book club that, and I'm actually behind on posting stuff for, but like I'll have just a few people will read it and they'll just have a big old roundtable discussion. So okay. we did do one for the Rising Storm.
And you haven't posted it yet.
I have to think. It should. I thought I did, but I hate editing so much. Dude, bro, we are kindred spirits.
Darth Chaco, we are kindred spirits here, sir. This is why I just live stream now. If I don't have the time. If I had more time in my life, I'd edit, but I don't. I just don't right now, but
there's times where I record stuff in I started using Restream now, but I do that so that I can bring the stuff up, and I'm just doing it live because if I don't do it live, I'm just not gonna do it.
I do, me too. Oh, this is great. All right, so for people who don't know, I was gonna do the show by myself. My homie here bailed me out, and we're having a blast. And at least I am anyway. And I'm doing something a little different. So I'm really glad that Dark Chocolate is going to be here to help me out and give me some tips, because I'm not a video person, for those who obviously know. But I don't care, because I love this. I love this stuff. We're gonna do a little kind of round the horn review, and I'm pretty sure you've read most of these. I'm pretty sure you have. It sounds like you have. So, which I'm excited about, because full disclosure, people, I have no idea what this guy's gonna say. I have no idea. He's gonna be like, "This is gonna be awesome." Like, this all sucks. I'm like, "This is awesome." And we'll argue and we'll hate each other, and then we'll storm off, and then we'll have a big feud. Maybe, who knows?
That's the goal. That's the goal.
That'd be pretty rad if we had a feud. Like, people came out as good intentions, now they hate each other. So all right, so people who bear with me, I'm going to add this to the stream, okay? And I'm going to move my stuff out of the way, because that's just not as cool as I wanted to. And that's my leg, I think, or something like that. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, okay, I see. All right, so let me move this over a little bit. Move this out of the way. All right, people. Like I said, super professional. All right. So first one we have on the list here is our friends from the High Republic, and the first manga. Which, really quick, I'm going to ask you: have you been reading all the manga adaptations of Star Wars?
I have not. So I'm aware of most of them.
I'm aware.
Also, people.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Yeah, but and the manga adaptation of Lost Stars has some of the cutest images I've ever seen in my entire life.
Okay, full disclosure. Okay, I've been saying that a lot now, because I think you said it. Cause I'm stealing your words. So I love Lost Stars. That's one of my favorite Star Wars books in the new canon. Like, straight up love that book. The manga, I haven't read all of it, because I was waiting to kind of special time. I read the volume 1. I freaking loved it. I actually might like it more than the book. Really? Already. Because I'm a comic guy. Focused, yeah. Yeah, again, I'm a comic guy, so maybe that's. But dude, the manga is it's really well done. It's really well done. It honestly, again, this is like manga's, I think, biggest trait. And it's funny. We'll get into why this is like almost not even traditional manga, as far as, and I'm not even a manga expert by any means, but the manga I've read, it's very light on words, more just it's all about pictures, I mean, and again, that's comic books, right? But it's weird, because obviously there's a lot of dialogue in Lost Stars, and there's I remember it being a decent amount of dialogue in the book, but there's still these big grand like pages of not as much dialogue, if I remember correctly. It just felt like it just had a good energy to it. I really liked it. So we'll talk about that maybe one day on the show. It'd be fun.
Okay. So just real quick though, in Lost Stars, like I'm a grown man, and then reading the scene where they were separated for a while, and then they like see each other and notice that they're like hot. They're like digging each other. And I was just like, oh. Like it was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Oh God. I see. I'm very, because I'm old and I'm not very familiar with like the young kids and their young adult books. The scenes where they had like their love scene, I was like, why am I? This is weird. Like I'm sorry. Love again, especially in the last book, the last High Republic book, dude. I mean, that whole man is it man? I always forgot his name. God, I forgot his name. I'm terrible with names. Elzar, man. Yeah, Elzar. Which by the way, I always think of George Clooney when he's the face I have for Elzar is George Clooney.
Okay.
He just has that, like, I don't know, the kind of regalness, I guess. That whole scene in the circus area right before the circus stuff, I'm like, what is this? This is Star Wars. I don't need this love making in Star Wars. I'm sorry, I don't need it. Anyway, all right. So this is Edge of Balance. This is going to be, I think, 3 parts, maybe? I think it's three volumes.
Yeah, but we got to wait till like February for the next one, or it's going to be a while for the next one. That came out in September.
I'm back. See, it's what happens. Just not that professional.
Oh, yeah, it switched mics.
Yeah, I'm back now. Yeah, right. You've held to me. All right, so back to this Edge of Balance. yeah, this is going to be 3 like parts, I think, to it. It's written by Justine Ireland, who's also one of the head High Republic people, and I was really excited about this because I'm getting into manga more lately, and it's one of those things where I don't know. Like, I like the adaptations we've gotten from the books, like I just said. My friend Tim from the Saga Continues, he told me, I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. And I was a little bummed because when I read it, it kind of wasn't the best. I'm not gonna lie, wasn't the best. The artwork's incredible. I'll give you that. I like her lightsabers, like the designs. It's okay. As someone, again, I've read a lot of most of High Republic stuff, as we just talked about. I definitely don't think this is a required reading, in my opinion.
No, not at all.
Yeah. What's your take on this book?
Well, I mean, I guess we should say we don't know yet. I was stoked to see another Wookiee Jedi.
That was tight.
Was a Wookiee.
Word.
Cool design. I love the lightsabers, but yeah, nothing really happened, in this book.
Thank you, Connor.
I'm just waiting for. There's no story yet, so yeah, this is not necessary in my opinion.
But here's the thing, though. I don't really care about the Padawans, even though I think Lily's a Padawan. This is Lily, the main character. I really like Lily. She's interesting. That's the thing. And I talked about in manga that there's less words, less dialogue, more pictures, and the art is fantastic. The art is phenomenal. My main problem with this is I feel like it's got too much dialogue going on in the book, like in general, even besides manga. I feel like, and I think Justine, and this is with her book, the first book she wrote with the again, terrible with names, the first children's book she wrote. I really liked the story premise. That was a great story, and I thought she did a pretty good job, just aimed at a younger audience. I just couldn't connect because, and again, it's not made for me. It's made for little kids. By the way, Mace lightsaber, hell yes. Like, give me that all day long. But I like where she's going with it. It just, her execution for me just hasn't landed, completely yet. I know she's not really known to be a comic writer, as far as I know. She's mostly young adult and novel stuff. But this isn't terrible. It's not great. I also got to say, I'm sick of the Drengir. Can they just go away completely? I'm done.
I think they are, but no. With this book, well, one thing real quick. I know Justina's name is on it, but I do believe it's Shinya that did most of the writing.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Okay, I should be on her. You're right. You're to be all on her. You're correct.
And so like the next chapter is coming out. It's Shinya.
Bro, yeah, good luck. I can't pronounce anything.
But Daniel Jose Older is helping with that.
Oh, no way!
And I think each one of these is going to have a different one of the High Republic story people on it.
That's cool.
Yeah. That being said, the Drengir were really cool in Into the Dark, and then after that, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. Oh God, meat. She said, "Oh God, you had to say it, meat." I will agree with you. They seemed more. I honestly thought they looked like Swamp Thing when she was describing them. I thought them as like Swamp Things, like evil Swamp Things with red eyes, like we're evil. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool, I guess. Like they're like Swamp Thing people, like humanoids. And then I read the comic, then it's like just giant, like or it's like a little shop of horrors, basically. If you're familiar with that story, it's like Seymour, Seymour. It's like I'm really into this. But again, if you like manga, I think you're gonna like this. If you're not into manga and you want to read the story, but you're like, you gotta save some cash, don't worry, we got you. So just skip it. I'm so mean. It's not bad. It's not terrible. It's just thank you. See, you get it. You understand. You're gonna make me look a lot nicer, I think, on this show. This is something very interesting. Now, this is something that I'm very interested in what you think about this. This is where the Bounty Hunters just wrapped up, literally, like 2 weeks ago is what it feels like. This was an interesting story because it basically runs the same. It pretty much is Shadows of the Empire canon version, essentially. In a very without Shizor and giving Leia the hotness or whatever you want to say it, whatever what that was, and Dash Rendar showing up. This is basically that Boba Fett side where he's taking the carbonite to Han Solo to Jabba the Hutt. This one is it's a mixed bag for me. I gotta be honest, man. Dude, part one, like the alpha issue. Oh my god. This alpha issue, guys, I'm telling you, it's worth it alone. The story is solid. Like you can buy the first comic book. Here, one second. You can buy the first comic book and by itself, sure. But the story's solid. But dude, this first issue, holy crap, this is just phenomenal. Like this dude. Oh my god. Anyway, I'll shut up. I've been talking a lot. Choco Man, tell me what's your thoughts on War of the Bounty Hunters? Issues 1 through 5.
So it's hard for me to say because I read all of the tie-ins. So I don't know. I can't in my mind separate.
I see.
What is
okay.
Only War of the Bounty Hunters because there were certain things that I didn't love, but there's certain like reading Dr. Aphra's tie into it, which I love. I love Dr. Aphra.
We'll talk about her in a second. She's not on this list, but yeah, we're going to go ahead.
But so someone approaches her in a cloak and is talking to her, and she's like, "So I'm supposed to pretend like I don't
recognize you?" Yeah, that was a great line.
That I heard and everything. You're like, "Yeah, you're totally not a clone or whatever." Like, I don't know. I just love. But I don't remember what parts were the tie-ins.
Okay.
This is also the tie-in where we got what's his name? The bounty hunter brought into canon.
Valance.
No. Valance was already.
Yeah, right.
The oh my goodness, why is his name escaping me? Big giant guy. He was in the 2002.
Oh, yeah, right. Dirge. Yeah.
Yes.
See, I haven't read the Aphra story yet. So it's one of those things where I think her tie-in graphic novel is literally upstairs. I got it today. Because I only read in trade right now for Star Wars, but this was one that this came out first, which I just found out there was a companion graphic novel like right before we were on the show. I went, there's another one I gotta get this for the canon shelf. I'll get to those tie-ins in a second. But yeah, she does have that line in this book. It might be in the other book too that they might they might cross-reference dialogue, which again I like that stuff. I gotta be honest. This is written by Charles Soule, whom I freaking love, as we all well established. I thought this was a solid story. It wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. I'll be honest. Would I consider this required reading? If you're a Boba Fett fan, I'd say yeah, it's good. It's good if you like Boba Fett. If you're like not into Boba Fett and you're not into Kira, if you're a big Kira fan from Solo, which Lord knows I am. It's worth it. It's worth it. But if you're those characters are okay, I'm more of traditional Han, Luke, Leia, you could probably skip this one. But I'm a big Boba Fett fan. I love it. But dude, this alpha issue, oh my god.
I'm gonna say yes, read
okay.
It, because it's sure there's some lulls in it, but I think it's solid. I think it's parts of it are just are peak. Like when Kira has that moment and she's like, "I got this." And
yeah, dude. Yeah.
Damn. And yeah. Guns and you're like, okay, Kira.
Right.
You're like, what? And then you're like, wait a second. Now I need to know what happened with Maul. It brings you some questions, but also the stuff that is launching from this comic.
Mm-hmm.
I think this comic is going to play the stuff that happened. Is going to play into Book of Boba Fett. I think we might see bits of it in Mando. I think it's going to touch a bunch of other stuff.
I see your point. It's a good point.
Especially if you read Crimson Reign.
Which we'll get into. Yeah.
You get to see a Hutt that has abs. Like he's just a big slug doing sit-ups.
Well, that's also in the comics too, though, right?
And you're like, what the hell?
What? Yeah, right. That's from the original Jason Aaron run. from the 2015 era.
That's a different one.
Is that the same one? I thought the same one.
No, you're thinking of Gracchus the Hutt.
Choco, man, you're schooling my ass, dude. Like, this is okay. Like, because I thought, I'm like, isn't this the same guy? Because I thought, of course, there can be more than one buff Hutt. I get it, but I mean, like,
yeah, Gracchus had robot legs and like.
You're right.
He had pecs and stuff.
This guy's full on.
He didn't have the beautiful blue eyes like my boy. What was his name?
I don't remember. I don't know. Well, I'll find a picture of him. Let me find a picture. Which, by the way, I'm not sure. Are you a Hutt fan like myself? I freaking love Hutts. I love them.
I like to imagine that the slug form is like the first thing, and they're gonna go into a giant chrysalis at some point, and they come out like a big old monster, like bird or something.
Here we go. You guys can't really see this very well, but he's kind of right there on the upper panel. You kind of see it.
He's not as contoured, but the dude's ripped.
He's ripped. Gracchus he's a great character. I like Gracchus a lot. He's solid. I like this. I think you make a great point though about Book of Boba Fett, because leading up to the end of Mando, obviously, there with he walks in on Bib Fortuna and just blows him away. I feel like there needs to be a little bit more of a. It kind of establishes they have a little bit not of a history, but they worked talk to each other a lot. So there's a little bit of a history between them, and this kind of establishes that a little bit. To be honest. It's solid. It's a solid story. Good Kira stuff, good Boba stuff.
It introduces a lot of factions that I think are like big parts.
Yeah. How familiar are you with Steve McNevin? Curious.
I'm actually really bad when it comes to comic book writers and artists.
Homie, I'm bad at everything. So just know that that's not just you. But I am bad at everything of that. This guy is a phenomenal artist. He's the guy who did the Alpha issue. And Luke Ross is solid. He's a good artist. And he's old vet. He's good. It just sucks because McNevin's he's top of the tier, and his Alpha issue is phenomenal. It's just so good, and it's just like the art. I wish he just did a few more issues. Oh, it's so good, dude. One last time, and I'll drop it. I promise. But dude, the spider creature. Can we get her in a movie? Come on.
I believe she was in Captain EO.
Stop it. You stop that right now. God. You bring up Captain EO. What else? I'm like, what else are we going to talk about? Oh my God. This is amazing. Dude, Captain EO is so good, by the way.
Beautiful.
Oh, God. Good times. Anyway. Oh, my God. God, dude. By the way, Bumbar, whatever his name is, the freaking Captain or freaking Max Rebo ripoff. I love him. Boombo or whatever his name is. I don't know. Bring him in.
I know this is kind of side topic, but
that doesn't matter.
Are you excited that to see Alex Ross doing the Fantastic Four, both writing and art?
I honestly did not know this is actually a thing. You put me on the spot. What the hell happened? Alex Ross is doing Fantastic Four?
Yeah, he's doing a new Fantastic Four run. He's writing and
the main series.
Yes.
That's awesome. I haven't read Fantastic Four because Dan Slott. I'm not a petty person to stop reading a book because I don't like the writer, which I like Dan Slott. I thought Slott's FF run was so mediocre. I just quit. I'm like, I'm out.
You can't go from Hickman to I don't know. It's not a fair comparison.
Homie, you're about to you're probably gonna drop off the podcast here in a second when I tell you this. I think Hickman's a little overrated. His FF run's a little overrated. It's good. It's a little overrated.
I gotta go.
I'm sorry. You're right.
No. It's cool. But I did love Slott's run on Spider-Man.
I love Slott. I do too.
It lasted forever.
but, dude, talk about side tangents. I could talk about Stan Slott because I'm on a Spider-Man podcast right now where I'm literally the only person who likes Dan Slott's run.
What? Oh, that's right. Because maybe it could have been shorter, but I don't know. Seeing Superior Spider-Man was
Dude,
like
I'm with you.
so good. It
Dude,
was,
Superior is superior. I think that's one of the better Spider-Man stories in 20 years, for sure. Like
everything that people are like, oh, Spider-Man should do this or he should do that.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That's exactly what he did.
Yes,
and it was the wrong idea, and
yes,
you lost everything, and that's the whole goddamn purpose.
It makes me happy that you read it. And honestly,
that end scene where he's facing Goblin, and he starts joking, and Goblin's like,
"Wait,
oh no,
oh no, yeah, dude, hell yeah, bro." So, are you a big Spider-Man fan?
Yeah.
Okay,
you can say that. Although I'm actually not caught up, which I feel bad saying. But I really want to catch up because I also I'm a Ben Reilly fan, as well. So
you read the Clone Saga then back when you're your prime age because you're a little younger than I am, and I dropped out right. I like the Clone Saga, but like just like Dan Slott's run went a little too long, and so
So like certain things are better in trade. I wasn't in it at the time.
Okay.
And had I been reading it, month
to month, yeah,
I probably would have hated it. But being able to just boom, the whole saga, it wasn't my favorite, but I didn't dislike it. And
there's lots of good stuff there
that come in were just
great,
really cool.
Yeah. Well, Kane. Kane.
Love having bunch of spiders. Kane, I don't really like.
All right. We're in the show. We gotta see you guys later. No, that's man.
I want more spiders, man.
No, I'm with you, dude. I'm with you. Like I'm like it's crazy to me that people see. We're talking. I brought you up for Star Wars. We're talking about Spider-Man. What's going on here? What are we doing? This is so much fun. Oh my god.
But this guy.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
This guy never is too far from me.
Dude, that costume's iconic, man.
Yeah. It could only exist in the 80s. But
90s, but yeah. We got back. This is your bread and butter. Well, back to your bread and butter here. We got some comics here. All right.
My bad.
All right. No. I'm the king of tangents. What are you talking about? All right. High Republic. This is issues 5 through 11. And again, I read. I'm all caught up now, and I also brought in issue 11 because I just was like, I'll read this one as well, right? And again, I know you love Claudia Gray. I know she shows back up again. That's really cool. I liked her character in the book. Always forget her name because I'm terrible with names. This series as a whole, I would say, is solid. It's not great. It's not horrible. I've liked it. I thought the art's been pretty consistent. It's not amazing, but it's consistent enough to where I know what to expect from this book. And again, I'm terrible with artists' names myself. I think the art's been consistent enough to where it's not jarring, and I like the fact that he's on it, or he or she is on it consistently, and they're hitting their marks. I'm not, I haven't been super into Calvin Scott's Star Wars stuff, to be quite honest. I have not connected to it. But it's not bad. There are some great moments. Like there's some great moments here. I do love a lot of this stuff here. I love Keeve, whatever I want to call her name. I think she's great. Yeah, Keeve. She's great. She's a great character. And Skier, her Skier. I love her master. I think they're some of the more interesting aspects of the High Republic, to be quite honest. Especially
when he's like, playing arm, bitches. When you're like, whoa! I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, dude. There's some moments, man, where I'm like, damn. A lot of fun. Again, High Republic has been kind of a mixed bag for me. I don't think it's been bad. It just hasn't really hit the peak for me yet. And besides Light of the Jedi, I think it was phenomenal. It's just been kind of gradually just kind of staying afloat or going down a little bit, but it's not been bad. I think these comics are solid. If you're really into Jedi, pick these up. If you're looking for hardcore, amazing Star Wars stories, they're the ones I'd want you to buy. But that's just me. Go ahead.
Here's the thing though, when it comes to just Star Wars runs in general, right? Star Wars is a platform where the films are the source material and
Yeah.
the comics and stuff are ancillary, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be different jumping into a place where all the characters are brand new and you don't already have ties to them, don't already, you know.
Right.
But I think that's one of the reasons why the larger initiative makes it so good, because I love that character Orla Drenny, because in
and that's her, right? That's her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I always name them terrible names.
but when she becomes, you know, the Wayseeker at the end of the book,
oh yeah,
and the whole time you thought she was just going to leave the order, like you thought there's two people, you thought they were going to end up in different places, and then you get to see that they show up months later in this story, and this character, they can say one word of dialogue in this comic, but with the context of that whole book, that hits you so much harder. And I think that's the difference. You know what I mean? Like I am on pins and needles reading anything that has to do with Keeve Trennis, because in Dooku Jedi Lost, they mention the Lost 20 and they mention a Jedi Trennis.
No way. See,
the Lost 20.
Oh, shoot.
And you're like, because they were working on this whole thing while
that
was right. Like they show up on the Ataraxia to all this stuff.
And they mentioned the name High Republic too, don't they, in the book? Like they actually say the name,
they say the name, but like we didn't know it was still Project Luminous back then, you know, when that book came out.
Right.
But I'm like, I'm on pins and needles because every time she pops up, I'm like, something's gonna happen. And especially if you read the most recent ones, where they pull out, you know, the machine, and you're like, oh no. Yeah.
See, the machine, and again, that goes back to the last book, which we'll talk about. I gotta talk about it after the show. We at least have to talk about that because
How did the very end of that book hit you though?
I like the end because Marchion, because he's there, because he's my boy. Like, I mean,
Marchion Ro is like Moriarty in the BBC Sherlock. That's what.
Yes.
And he's crazy. He's highly intelligent. He's unhinged, but he's not in control. Like he's not like a mastermind. He's a mastermind, but he's just barely. He has just a little tenuous grip on the whole situation, and it's the best thing.
Dude, that is probably the best explanation of him. Like literally, like I'm like, wow, that's beautifully said. Because in the books, you feel him things are slipping away, but then he gets them back. But it's him trying. It's not like it's not a Palpatine where it's like, oh, that was my whole plan was to make right. Marchion's kind of right. But the end of the book hit me, and dude, again, Marquez Thompson, his voice, Marchion, dude, there's something about his. I don't know what about his voice, just like it just hits me. I don't know what it is.
And it's because I don't know if you feel like I did, where you heard him at the beginning of Light of the Jedi, and you're like, this guy, I'm supposed to be afraid of this guy. And you're like, oh no,
dude, yes.
John Malkovich is kind of a dick.
dude, word. And like, dude, Marquez Thompson, his voice is just, I love Marchion's voice. Like I only hear him, and I think when I think of Marchion, I just hear his voice and the way he says things. I'm just like, I miss Marchion. I want to hear his voice again so bad. I'm not sure if I'm just like attracted to it. I don't know. Like I can't tell. All I know is I freaking love it. So
there's nothing wrong with being attracted to it if you read High Republic Adventures and he takes off the helmet and you're like,
I have the issue.
That can't be right.
Yeah. Like, hold on. Oh, okay. No, it's funny. I have read the first 5 issues, and I remember I felt small criticism. I kind of felt it did him a little dirty the way they kind of revealed him in that comic, and it felt very anticlimactic. Mm-hmm. Are you with me on that?
No, that was the last place I thought we would see his face.
Word.
You know what I mean?
Word. Anyway, so what's your take? Is this required reading or not? What's your take, Mr. High Republic?
Oh man,
it's good. It's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad.
I don't know that I can say it's well. Actually, yes, this is required reading if you're into the High Republic because
Okay.
this wraps up the Drengir plot, or at least
What do you think?
yes. So this gets to the battle of the. I mean,
No,
the thing that happens here
Yeah.
is going to heavily affect Fallen Star.
Right.
I will bet any amount of money on that.
I'm excited. You know, I didn't know.
There's a big old Drengir mother on Starlight Beacon now. Like, this is a bad idea. Like, didn't you see Jurassic Park 3 or 2 or whatever?
Whichever one it is, I don't know. This, you know, I didn't know Trennis was one of the Lost 20, and that actually makes me again. That's how I don't really pay attention to the kind of the super deep details anymore, as far as the stuff. That actually makes me even more intrigued. I had no idea that about her. I liked her. I did like the way Kevin Scott wrote her. This is a problem, and not just in his writing, but in a lot of writing in Star Wars, in writers in books, movies, whatever. But mostly the books and the comics. Their dialogue just is too current. I'm not sure if you would agree with me on that. It like there's a part where she's like, seriously? She goes, seriously? So when like she's like hitting on Skier or whatever, and she's like, come on guys, seriously or whatever. I'm like, what? This is not.
Never even crossed my mind, but now I'm gonna be like picturing something happens, and she's like, "She."
He's so basic.
Will let Rennie just dab? Like what the?
Oh
hell?
God, Luke did dab in Last Jedi. I want you to know that he did dab. This is a dab,
Yeah.
you know, or did the Jay-Z anyway. You know, whatever that is. All right, this is the latest issue you were talking about. This was a pretty. You're right. This did make things a lot more interesting. I would say.
It hurt me. I mean, the new arc I think is more interesting than the previous arc.
I would agree with that. The previous arc isn't. Again, it's not. These aren't bad comics. They're just not like gripping comics. You know, which we'll get to gripping here in a minute. Solid issue. I like this issue. Have you read this, sir?
I believe I have. Yes, I have.
Okay.
I'll need you to open up the
okay, I will. Please open up every page. Let me just look at. Wait, well, go back. Zoom in.
Okay. Yes. Now
okay.
Now I'm back. I'm back with it.
All right. Okay. So this full disclosure. Okay, I keep saying full disclosure. Thanks to you. This comic book, I got this one and this one, which I can't wait to talk about that one too. This one and this one, I got in my comic shop. I get all the High Republic stuff, and then I told him, give me all the War of the Bounty Hunter stuff. I'll pick this up. I'll read this individually, which I didn't end up doing. And I found out again today there was a companion graphic novel that I had these 2 issues, but I didn't get the Forlon Zuckuss one. Apparently, I was like, okay, you gave me everyone, but not anyway, whatever. So I haven't read that one yet, but I will when I get the trade for it. I got these. I'm like, okay, they're one shots. Okay, these are usually pretty bad. Whatever. Holy shit! This was great. This was, I have no idea who this person is, but this guy impressed me. This is a great comic. I don't know why or how IG88 got here. I'm not sure if this is part of the Darth Vader run that's going on right now, and I just haven't caught up with it. I'm assuming this is because
it does. Yeah, it definitely crosses.
Okay, we'll get to Darth Vader. Trust me, we'll get to Darth Vader. I like this comic a lot. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, obviously, but this is really good. I really liked it. I thought it was one of the better Star Wars comics I've read in a long time, to be quite honest. It's one shot, single issue. I thought this is, to me, to me, this is required reading 100%. If you love Star Wars comics, I think this is a good, fun, solid little story. What do you think, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. So the one shots relating to War of the Bounty Hunters, I think, are actually all good. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I'm with you.
Anyone that I didn't fully enjoy, but I think that's the nature of a one shot. Is there's no fact. You know,
you have
It's all
condensed.
It's all killer, no filler.
Yeah. I mean, really, but this really tells you. To me, it gets in the heart of what makes IG88. And I think that's what I think is so good about it. And it's kind of shows you why he's going to be around for a long time, basically. a great cover. It surprised me how well it was written in the narrative of IG8 narrating everything. It was really cool. I highly recommend this book. I think this is required reading. If you like Star Wars comics, this is required reading. This is a really good, this is a fun issue. You can read this a couple different times and be like, yeah, that's a good comic book. So would you think this is required reading, sir?
I think everyone should read it. Yeah.
For sure.
Also, his ship design super unique.
Word.
I love it. I'm just it's
yeah.
I don't know how to describe it.
One thing about a lot of the comic writers or artists in this, and I think in Marvel, it's been really hit and miss with designs, overall. And it's really hard because I feel like in the movies and the TV shows, they have an advantage because they have a plethora of writers a plethora of designers all working together in tandem and taking pieces. And it's going to be better when you have that many people all working towards building something, a universe, right? When you have this one artist being like, is this good enough? Okay, no, okay, come, you know what I mean? And keep coming back to it. It's hard. It's going to be a lot harder to get a design that hits every, or dots every check mark. But you're right. The ship designs in this and the design aesthetic in this, it feels much more like a Star Wars lived-in universe to me.
Yeah. I have to ask though, what'd you think of the one character in there, Diva, like the bird lizard?
Hold on. Let me. Oh wait, this one?
Yeah.
Isn't she a part of Kira's team?
I don't.
I thought she was.
Okay, well now that's
I think.
Hold on.
Well, you're right. It's not. You're right. It's not. So. They have the same skin color, I think, but one doesn't have hair.
Yeah.
But I liked her. I thought it was cool. I bought into it. I wasn't like, this is Star Wars. This is stupid. And I was, I wasn't me. It was fine. But I also, to be honest, I also thought that was the same person. So I just assumed like, oh, we're gonna see this character later. So whatever. I'll just, yeah. Dude. Okay. All right. So Dr. Aphra. All right. Just to let you know, sir. This is the same writer who is writing Aphra, right? Correct. Wong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alyssa Wong.
I gotta be honest. Over the first arc, not into it at all. I have the second trade. I haven't read it yet. I plan on it. When I got this issue and I looked who wrote it, I'm like, I'm not really looking forward to this because it's just I just was not like I'm like yeah I love Bausch. I love Bausch a lot. I think this is one of the best Star Wars character designs ever. Straight up, love it. And her clan or Ubanese, whatever they're called, I was not expecting. I just for whatever reason looked past all these people next behind her, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Let's get this over with. I'm like, hey, okay, whatever. And then I'm like, oh yeah, this is a good comic. It's cool. And then I'm like, oh God, oh, all right. Oh, Bausch is with her people. This is about. Oh, I went okay.
The Bausch.
Bausch. I call it Bausch. Is it Bausch? You go, okay.
No. It's Bausch. But okay. I was like, oh, if there's a group of Bausch, do we? The
Bausch.
A bagel of Bausch.
Oh, I like that. Dude, I gotta hand it to you. This comic convinced me to give Alyssa Wong another chance. I thought she did a phenomenal job. This is a great comic too. I loved it. And granted, it was also a character and a costume that I freaking love. And I liked all the designs of her, the other Ubanese, whatever they're called, people. I like the aesthetic that we're getting from this different, different universe or different planet I don't know much about. I'm in. And the fact that she's tied into Aphra, I'm like, okay, you've convinced me. I'm in. I'm actually excited to read Aphra for once in a long time. I'll get
the way this ties into the Aphra storyline, and again, it's hard for me to remember exactly where.
Yeah, right.
Come in and out, but like also just giving us the background of how their planet works and like how and
they're exiled.
Yeah, but
that's super cool.
So there's like these rogue, and that's why we don't see many of these guys around the galaxy. And I dug it. I really
dude. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I'm super stoked for freaking for this. I'm stoked for because I love what she set up in this book. And again, I'm not sure if it's all her idea. I'm assuming the story group had probably developed, these people a little bit and everything. And she definitely did a great job introducing those ideas. And I'm really excited. I think this is going to be a fun story to read. So I'm excited. Which again, I was not stoked on her first run. I haven't read the second one. I'm just not. We'll get to that at one point eventually. All right. Now, sir, tell me. I know you're. I've only read up to this issue, up to this graphic novel. I've again. I love. Yeah, I know. I love pretty much all Darth Vader comics have been good. Even Kieran Gillen's run, which gets really low for me at one point. It gets to the point where I'm like, all right, this is not great. It goes back up at the very end. And then Charles Soule just writes the best Star Wars comics of all time in Darth Vader, and I'm sticking by that. So when Greg Pak, which I love, or Pak, excuse me, took over for Darth Vader, I like Greg Pak. I thought Planet Hulk. Have you read Planet Hulk at all?
Yes.
It's a good story. It's a good Hulk story. It's not Immortal Hulk by any means, because have you read Immortal Hulk at all?
I have not read Immortal Hulk.
Sir, we will talk later. Anyway, but Greg Pak is literally the perfect bridge between Peter David and Immortal Hulk. Peter David's Hulk and Al Ewing's Hulk. Greg Pak's Hulk run is like a perfect medium between the two things of fun, action, and I like the stuff he's written. And I'm like, okay, cool. And his Star Wars stuff is solid. Nothing to write home about, but it's solid, right? Read the first arc of Darth Vader, thinking like, it'll be fun. Man, all right. He had big shoes to fill after Charles Soule. Not quite filled them. Did a good job though.
Are we kind of talking the whole Vader 2020 run, or like? Yeah,
I'm talking about the whole. At this point,
that first arc that happened, like the end of it, maybe start to well up, and I'm just like,
bro, no. Listen,
like, don't do this to me, man. Like,
dude, it prequel. It makes the prequel lovers in us. It hits us, man. It hits us. Now, for the record, I think Greg Pak's run of Darth Vader's first volume, and we'll get into this in a second, I think it's almost on par with Charles Soule. It just, for me, Charles Soule, he has that perfect balance. Greg Pak is right there, though, man. Like, it's really, really good. It's good. This might be almost on the level of Charles Soule. Like, I love this, and I knew I was going to love it, but holy crap. We talked about Rise of Skywalker stuff.
Oh, and when I always say it, when Star Wars gets weird, that's when it's at its best. And when you see a big giant buff baby with a weird spider monster on its head,
dude, why was it a movie?
Ramesh Bosch is like,
yes,
which was shot for the movie, was created for the movie.
But just put it in the movie. Put it in. I'm with you, bro.
You're just like, what? Okay, all right, let's go,
dude. I'm glad you said that. I'm not sure if you ever saw. I know you said you were listening to our old podcast. I'm not sure if I ever referenced it, but I have a button. I still have my buttons that has. It's. How familiar are you with Portland? Just my first question.
Let's see. I lived in Portland from.
Oh God! So you know.
2011 till 2014.
Okay, so you know the Keep Portland Weird thing. Yeah. Okay, right. Well, I took that, and a friend of mine, Heath from Twitter, thank you, Heath. He made me. I asked him as a favor, will you make me a button that says "Keep Star Wars Weird"? And he did.
That's perfect,
bro. That dude, that's because I love when Star Wars gets weird. That's why I love Rebels, dude.
That's why Rebels is amazing. That's what makes Star Wars Star Wars. And
exactly.
I know recently, Marshall Lucas was saying this stuff, but I feel
saying the stuff.
And this is not at all to like diminish her.
I love Marcia. No, she's important. Yeah.
But I think a lot of the people, and this also applies to what's his name, who walked off of Return of the Jedi.
Manquil, not Man.
I can't think of the name, but these people wanted this Star Wars to be movies. They wanted them to be like movies. and Star Wars is not like movies. Star Wars is like Star Wars.
It's a mythology.
And that's what makes it special. So like
Amen.
if you wanted it to be like a regular movie and you watch Empire Strikes Back and he's talking to a Muppet, like that's weird. That's not normal.
Dude, word.
But that's what makes it great. Like as a kid, and I'm just like, oh my god! And like he has a Muppet on his back, and he's doing flips over logs and stuff.
And it's serious. It's not like played for laughs. It's 100% like serious shit. Yeah.
That's the type of stuff that I love. That's what peak Star Wars is to me. And so, Return of the Jedi. There's a big fat slug, and he's the most powerful crime boss, and you're like, how? What does he do? Who did he? Does he
how beautiful that is! That's so beautiful. That is beautiful.
It's so weird, and I love it. And it needs to stay that way.
We talked about Rise of Skywalker before the show a little bit. I know you said it's your least favorite of the 3 of the sequel trilogy, and I'll hold it against you. But I've gone on record many times. I know this is a very unpopular thing on YouTube where people love to rip on the movie. I love Rise of Skywalker because it is weird. I think I'd argue that it gets super bonkers, and I like that about it. But I understand people's problems, but I definitely feel like this comic really fleshes a lot of things out. I gotta be honest, dude. Ochi Bestoon, for the record,
so cool.
His costume is 1,000 times cooler in this than in the movie. Like, why wasn't this in the movie? It looks so good in this. It looks rad.
And then they introduce us to the Umbarian in here, and you're like, "Who is that?" And then
word.
The prequels, and you're like, "Oh, she's there. She's been there the whole time."
Oh, that's right. You're right. She's not. Oh my god.
She's on the platform with Masamita, and you're like,
yeah.
That's weird,
dude. Come on. That looks rad.
Yeah, Ochi's a bit of a badass. But what's also one thing I love, and I think a lot of people actually get wrong, is the way it actually really honored George's ideas. Because the way George had planned it was that if Anakin hadn't, turned when he did, like Palpatine was in his end game, like end game. If I can get rid of these rebels, that's it. We're done. I have everything forever. You know what I mean? Nothing can really touch this. And I love how it makes sense that he was working on the Sith fleet. Like he took over and changed the Republic into the Empire, but that wasn't the end game. The end game
was eternal life.
A new Sith Empire. He wanted to rebuild the galaxy in his image.
Which hell yeah, dude.
In the Tarkin book.
Which I love Tarkin. Love me some Tarkin. Love me that book.
Dude, where's my spaceship? Yeah, it's a great book.
Dude, where's my spaceship?
Oh god, I could talk about the
Yeah. I know. We did. I need to get you on the Saga Continues, man. I need to get you on there. We are notorious for going on for hours. We have the longest. We got you on there. We'd be like, we could do a marathon for like 8 hours. Like, I don't think anyone could touch us.
I just have to, the way Tarkin beat the carry-on place, like behind the house.
Yeah,
was so well written and not what I expected.
I know.
It was so
Lustino, baby.
And you're just like, oh, you're a monster, but I get it.
Yeah, dude. Lucino,
or not. You read Lost Stars, and they look at Tarkin like a kind old grandpa, and you're like,
no, dude. And Charles Soule, he brings all of that stuff from Tarkin into that one issue where they hunt each other. Oh my god. Freaking god, it's so good. That's a great issue. Oh my god. But this really you're literally taking the prequels, the sequels, and the original trilogy, and you're making it all work in here and just giving it good stuff. And I think this is required reading. I think anything Darth Vader is required reading, but I think for sure Greg Pak's run, it's so good. I was not expecting to like it almost on the level of Charles Soule, which is saying a lot because I've raved and will say those are the best Star Wars comics ever written. This isn't too far behind. That's saying a lot. And I'm surprised I'm saying it, but it's good.
Are you fully caught up on Vader?
No, I'm only up to issue. Where is it? 11. But I think but the new trade's coming out soon. I know there's more stuff coming down. I know there is.
Yeah, just like the last frame of the last comic. You're just like, what?
I can't wait, dude. I can't freaking wait. So you're with me. Required reading?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm glad we're.
All the Vader comics are required reading. Actually.
I'm 100% with you. I'm 100% with you. This, okay, I'm going to say it right now. I like this. This is Kevin Scott's best work that I have read that I really liked. And I'm wondering it's because it's only only 4 issues and it feels very condensed. Mm-hmm. I really like the character tie in the book, Into the Storm, or Ride This, whatever the hell it's called.
Ride the Storm. But actually, just got a High Republic tattoo, and Ride the Storm is on it.
Shut the hell up! He got a High Republic tattoo.
Got a High Republic tattoo. He actually DM'd. So on my YouTube channel, we did a one shot High Republic tabletop.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So we've been like putting out the episodes, and so my DM on that just got a High Republic tattoo.
That's rad.
So here, another reason to get on High Republic, if anyone's on the fence, anyone listening, is the High Republic part of the fandom is the best part of the fandom. I have to say, it's all hopefulness.
It is very interesting. It's very interesting fandom. Not gonna
lie. It does cross over with like thirsty Thrawn stuff.
Oh, God.
And some of that is like,
I'm too old for this stuff, man.
All right, this is getting weird.
Keep Star Wars weird. Keep Star Wars weird. That's what we said. Even fandom. No, listen. I think the High Republic's been cool. It just hasn't been. I feel like it's gonna hit its peak and it's gonna get crazy when it does. It's taken its time, and I can't fault it for that because I think we'll get into that in a minute. I got a whole theory about.
We are still in phase 1.
I exactly. I'll just say this. I feel that the High Republic exists and what they're doing all again with the movies or the upcoming TV series and the game that just got announced. Oh, holy crap, that game looks amazing. All that being said, I think it's leading towards almost like a Shadows of the Empire thing where it's like that was a dry run for something else.
I think that they are using hacks like Marvel did. Marvel was like, you know what, we're going to do all different Marvel. So we're going to take all of our heroes and we're going to split them into 2 versions of themselves. So you got, go
for it, man. Yeah.
So you got Riri Williams being Iron Man and you got Dr. Doom being
superior
being Iron Man. And then you get, we had 2 Captain Americas. We had they just brought out different versions of it.
Right. And I see what you're saying.
Parts of the community were like, oh, this is terrible because
they're different races than the ones before. Yeah. And they're not, Captain America's supposed to be white. It's like, oh, God, kill me.
But it was so smart because they did that now, when was that? 2015? Something like that?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. And now look at it.
Now they can make movies and TV shows and all this stuff, and they have
legacy
the source material, and not only that, but they have a
history
fan base, and the people that would normally be like, you can't do this, are now like, oh yeah, no, I read this back in 2015. So the hipster crowd of it is now on board.
Dude, you're on the money, man. They
just got manipulated,
bro. That's actually
smart. It's so smart.
I think you're right, but in my opinion, I feel, and again, I have no idea if I'm right, and you're probably more right than I am, but I kind of feel that this is a dry run for the Old Republic because I feel, in my opinion, because I think the Old Republic is such a lucrative thing. Once they actually sit down and do, you're an Old Republic fan, you're probably more than I am, but I just know that when they sit down and actually do the Old Republic like they are doing this, it's going to be.
Oh, absolutely.
And
so I get what you're saying, and I will agree with that. What I think this is they needed to do something
exactly
as a spacer.
Yes. Before they get yes.
I think they I think I think a lot of the I can't say a lot of the fan base, but the very loud portion of it has ruined the possibility for certain things to happen. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we've had to wait how long to get Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen back?
Yeah.
Like we've had to wait 20 years. Why did we have to wait 20 years? Because
People thought they hated it. Yeah.
yeah, everyone it was widely hated.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Ewan McGregor came out and said that in an interview. He was like, you know,
yeah, I saw your video. Yeah, that was interesting. You nailed it.
And we're getting the same thing, but now they're like, you know what? We're gonna do this, and it being a book initiative, like I said before, you have to actually read it. So, like all the people who are hating on it now, it's so shallow. Like I've seen videos where they say Keeve scowled too much, and that's why they didn't like it. And you're like,
that's ridiculous.
So you thumb through it. Like you have to actually read it. You know?
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, I hear you. This is something that I don't know. It's been inconsistent, but I do feel like you said, that's brilliant because now you've created this mythology in that era, right? Like that to me is, I think now you can play around with it and adapt characters, and you have that build up the following is something that I didn't even really consider. Like again, a following within the following, like you're saying, and High Republic does have a following. It does have something. Not again. I would say I'm part of it somewhat, but I'm not like diehard in it. Even though I have all the books, I just haven't read them all. But so this comic in particular, what's your thought on this man? What's your take?
I really enjoyed it. I mean, I finished all 4 of them, and I love where the story ends.
This is a great cover. I love this.
And just the character is cool, and her
Ty
droid.
Is great.
Her droid at the very end is
interesting,
just really cool. But getting the concept of like a Witcher in Star Wars, like
a gray Jedi. Did you say gray Jedi?
Toss a coin to Tayoric. God, I hate the concept of gray Jedi so much. It keeps me.
I know. That's why I said it. I just knew. I knew you'd hate it. That's why I had to say it. I'm like, well, she kind of is, but not really. I understand. I know. These covers are great.
When you see why she left the order, oh man, like that stuff hits.
Dude, I don't remember in the book Ride the Storm, whatever it's called. I'm just gonna call it Ride the Storm forever, just because it's for everybody. I don't remember anyone's name. Her and Marchion were my favorite characters in the book. Purple lightsaber. I like the fact she was like this monster hunter, like mercenary, kind of a thing. And she's not really a Jedi because she's kind of lost her way. And again, I like the idea of what George established was like the whole, like, if you don't use the Force, it's like atrophy. It's like a muscle, right? You can't just be like, I don't use the Force ever, and all of a sudden be like, oh my God, it's like, no, it's like, it takes a while, and again, I think it's really interesting. I like that. So with all that, I like the idea that she's not as powerful. She can, do well with the lightsaber, but that's, she can get by, but she's not like God tier, Jedi, she's okay. But we see her obviously reestablish herself eventually in the books a little bit. She's one of the more intriguing aspects of the story, in my opinion. But that was really pretty. You're right. The intro, the reason why she is really fascinating and a lot more gut wrenching than I anticipated, and well written. So yeah, I really like this. Yeah,
I mean, so if you just want a quick in and out story, this 4 issues. And you're out, and it's
quick,
extra, but it's good.
Yeah, I would borderline to say, I think it's a required reading, and this is why, because I think that this comic does a great job of showing you the potential of the characterizations that you can get from the High Republic that they haven't really dove into because they're telling such a bigger scale story. This is a great example of what you can do on a smaller scale. And I think that these are the kind of stories that I want to see more of when we can get more into the heads of the characters and see them develop. Because again, I liked her in the book. This made me like her even more, So, and I like the design. It's a cool design. Like I love her purple lightsaber
with the spikes on it. Like,
okay, quick question, sir. And please answer correctly or I'll be really upset. Okay, you ready for this? Tales of the Jedi, go.
Tales of the Jedi.
Come on. Just say it. Please tell me. Please.
Tales of the Jedi? No, sorry.
Golden Age. You can't count Golden Age. You don't count Golden Age. You don't. That's terrible. Get that out of here. Golden Age excluded.
So I guess I don't follow. I don't understand. I have no.
All right. Tales of the Jedi is one of my favorite Star Wars comics ever written. The first 5 issues are chef's kiss. It kind of reminds me a little bit of this. A little bit. Not. It's a little edgy. That's a lot edgier than this is because obviously they aimed at kids. Very obvious as you see this little character, little Spectre Gadget bunny here or whatever. You know, I love it, and the reason why I bring up Tales of the Jedi is because of the hilt. The hilts are really crazy, dude. You haven't read Tales of the Jedi?
No,
homie, we're gonna have a chat. All right. Anyway,
I'll have to jot that down,
dude. We have a lot to talk about.
I mean, while since you put that out there, I have to put this out.
Please, yeah, do it.
Darth Vader in the Ghost Prison.
Is that by Dave Gibbons?
Don't know.
Okay. It's a comic though, right?
Yes.
Is it? Hold on. I'm trying to think. Ghost Prism. I've got a couple different Darth Vader graphic novels. I read the one with Dave Gibbons. I don't think it's about a ghost though, so I don't think I've read that one. Then
no. So it's not about ghosts or anything like that at all. But that's just the name of it. It's a.
Is it like it's a cover kind of like him looking straight ahead with like people like underneath him, kind of?
The cover is just Vader with his hand out, but like he ends up there's this uprising and there's this random like officer who has like one hand and he like helps Vader out. They have this weird,
sounds familiar,
awkward adventure together. It's good.
I think it's over there somewhere. We'll check it out because I have. Do you buy any of the Star Wars Epic collections?
I don't. So the way I've had to move so much, this is the first time I've ever decorated anything or started to try and collect. So my collection has always been digital when it can be, because when I moved down to San Diego, I only took what fit in my car, you know?
Hey, I don't blame you, man. We'll talk because we got to talk about Tales of the Jedi, and I'll talk about we got a lot to talk about. All right, we'll wrap this up here quickly because I know I'm taking way too much of your time. I'm sure your wife hates my guts, which I don't blame her. This, I got to tell you, I think Star Wars Bounty Hunters is a really good book. I know it got some controversy for some weird stuff that people like got really mad about, and I don't want to take that away from them. And besides that, I think this is a pretty good comic, to be honest. I think Valance has been a great addition to the new canon. I don't love his and I know this is from the original comics, at least I remember it, his Iron Man repulsor rays. I'm not really into that necessarily, but besides that,
I can't figure out exactly what they want him to. So that's my only problem with Valance is he is the equivalent of he's like the person equivalent of when you shoot a panel in Star Wars, where it just does whatever you need it to do.
That's a good point.
Panel, it opens the door. You shoot it, it closes the door. You shoot it, sometimes it closes the door halfway through and locks it. Like it's always random.
Look at this. That's full-on looks amazing. Look at that.
Oh, the art is incredible.
Dude, this artist, like, why isn't he drawing like something bigger? Like, why isn't he drawing the High Republic? That's what I want to know. Like, seriously, I'm not joking. I'm being serious. This dude, like, his stuff is great.
Yeah. And so I feel like he just, whenever he's in a jam, he's just like, go gadget something.
He is Inspector Gadget. He really is the Inspector Gadget of the Star Wars universe. I think it's a fair criticism, honestly. I like balance.
I can't bring up Inspector Gadget without going,
next time, Gadget.
Dude, that
next
is
time.
Holy shit. That was amazing. That's pretty good, dude. Like, that's pretty good. Yeah, I love seeing Fulham and Zuckuss in here. Dengar. I mean, like, it's lots of it scratches all my Star Wars itches that I want. It's not, I wouldn't say it's required reading, but I really enjoy it. I think if you like bounty hunters and just kind of the darker, seedier side of the Star Wars universe, definitely required reading. If you're just kind of like, if you're like a casual fan, I would say, I'm not sure if you'd love it. It might not. I don't think you're gonna hate it. Besides, maybe you get offended with some things in the first run. Maybe I don't know. I think Ethan Sachs.
It's funny because I missed all the controversy. And so
I'll tell you later.
I don't know what's going on.
It's a lot. Or not a lot. It's just I don't want to get into it. You understand.
I really love Forlom and Zuckuss as a
Me too.
I don't have a reason why. I just love them.
Look amazing. That's why. That's all you need to know. That's why I love comic books. People are like, "Where are the costumes so much?" Because they look amazing. Come on, I don't want.
I think I just love Bugs. Because like Plo Koon is one of my top Jedi.
I mean, he's amazing. He's a G. Let's be real. He's a G.
But Plo Koon has nice uncle energy. Like he's your cool.
He's
uncle.
nice. He's definitely a nice uncle. He's definitely a nice uncle. God, this is good. Again, not required, but I like it. I think if you like bounty hunters, you definitely got to pick that up. It's good stuff, dude. All right, I only read obviously because only 2 issues out. By the way, I only read like 3 pages of this, and I stopped. I'm like, I'm done. Even Marchion, I couldn't even finish it. I'm like, oh, cool. I mean, the cover alone. I mean, come on. I'm gonna butcher this, dude. That's what I thought we were getting, sir. Was the cover? I did not get anything close to the cover. I was upset. Dude. Dude. Dude.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
So if you want to know some more of that stuff, that's why you got to read Out of the Shadows.
God damn it! I don't want to read a book. I hate reading books.
Listen, just listen to it.
No, I love audiobooks too. I've been spending too much money. My wife gets mad at me. I dropped Audible a long time ago, but I'll get it back because I do want to read. Because yeah. Since Blaster Cannon, I think they revoked my audiobooks.
No.
I know you brought up a sore subject, sir, but you made me feel whole, so I don't mind. So last on the list before we wrap things up, which has been I'm having a blast. I could do this all night. So Daniel Jose Older, he wrote. He's writing the Star Wars Adventures comics, High Republic Adventures comics. Not loving the series. I've only read 5 issues. Don't hate it. I didn't love Last Shot, or I loved Last Shot at first. Didn't love it at the end. This is okay.
It got weird. It got.
And not in a good way. And not in a good way. Let's be real. I don't. Yeah, I just remember. Oh man. But this has been pretty cool.
I love Trail of Shadows.
It's pretty cool. I'm into it. Has the 3rd issue come out yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, I didn't think so. I did not. I'm getting all the High Republic comics right now, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll read this. I guess I had no idea this was even coming out. I'm like, that's cool. I guess. And I read it, and I went, okay, I'm in. This is cool. It got a murder mystery story. Dude, I'm a sucker for yellow lightsabers. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I freaking love. Yeah. It's like this character sucks. Yellow lightsaber, my favorite character ever. Just what happens. It's facts. Just like, I mean, again, the art's solid. Really, really interesting things here. I like the paneling. It's a good. The guy that's Hulk. We don't want to read that.
I was like, that's bad. Oh,
yeah. That's.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. Who's that? It's the Weapon X Hulk. No, it's super like solid storytelling. The paneling at the layouts are pretty solid. Dude, that looks freaking rad. God, I love yellow lightsabers.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw myself and I got some other TikTok people in on it, but we recreated the lullaby that's been a common theme throughout.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, I recognize the lullaby. I didn't know that. Yeah, this is again only 2 issues in. It's a 4-issue mini. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe it's 4 issues.
This is it could be required reading. I'm wondering where it's going. I think
it's required reading. Personally.
You think so?
And not just because I really like it, but because I think if this truly uncovers the secret
of the box, right?
Yeah. Then absolutely. But like, oh my goodness, and the second issue where they're like, yeah, this is obviously just like a burglary from like a bad deal, and they're like, you're an idiot. And I break down the crime scene. Like, I was so into that. It was just like,
It's a solid book, man. I want to finish reading it, but I'm with you. It could, if it reveals some heavy stuff, then I mean, yeah. So yeah, that's again. I told you we'd get there. So we have
Also,
one.
I'm gonna cosplay that Jedi.
Dude, he's awesome. What's his
Yeah,
What's his
with
name?
A little droid on his back, and like, it's Master Black Dude.
How obvious. That's a good name. It's a clever name.
I can't remember it. Oh man, now it's escaping me. Almec at Master, something like that.
Master Almec? Oh, I know that guy. Almec, isn't the guy who like killed kids with Kool-Aid in Clone Wars?
I kind of laugh at Clone Wars Almec because George Lucas is like, okay, I want you to make sure that he says that Jango Fett is not a bounty hunter.
Not a bounty hunter.
Yeah. And then,
all right, dude, calm down. Like, it's okay.
yeah. Well, guess what? We'll just retcon it later on and make it even more like awesome, in my opinion. Just me. I do. I love. Yeah.
We'll have to.
Yeah.
We'll have to see because I'm still not sold on it, but like
really.
Just not on. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off there with that. Distract you. I'm sorry.
Mommy. I mean, what?
Hey, bro, I'm with you. Like for whatever reason, Emilia Clarke as a blonde never did nothing for me. Dark hair, gone. I'm in. Like just dark hair did it. There's something vibrant about her personality, like just as a human being, that when you see her in interviews, there's something so charming about her. I do not know. It's weird. Like she's beautiful, but I mean, like there's something about her personality, like her way she seems like a genuine soul. Maybe she's like maybe not that person, but it's just I'm in.
You know who she reminds me of? This may sound weird, but like
never.
Like the ease. Like she has just a really easy smile, you know?
Yeah.
And it reminds me in a way of Cosima if you watch Orphan Black.
I never saw Orphan Black. I need to. I've heard great I mean, she's playing She-Hulk soon. I gotta see it. So
it's incredible.
So I've heard great things.
Now for real quick though, I loved the game. I know everyone hates it. Stars Masters of Terrace Kasi. I played. Listen, I could go pro on that game.
You could be
with Arden Lin. Don't mess with me, man.
That's awesome.
So I love to see anything gives that a little bit of love too.
All right. That was, dude. I love Solo. I freaking love Solo to death. I think it's. I mean, yeah. I go on about Solo. I think it's great. This, my friend, is something you wanted me to read, and because you came on my show and we're just blasting up. I had to honor you and say I'll read it. I read it. This surprised me. I can see why you wanted me to read it though. There's a lot of setup in this. A lot. Tell me what your thoughts on this book. No spoilers. Keep it spoiler free as much as possible. I think it's not spoilery to talk about some of who's in the factions because I think that's what makes it kind of interesting. So tell me what you're vibing on this book, on this comic for.
Yeah, so I mean, the one of the reasons is I was like, okay, so if he's catching up on a bunch of stuff, he's probably going to do War of the Bounty Hunters, but this is brand new, and
it is.
Probably won't read it, but it's so damn good. Like
it's good
when I'm sometimes when I'm reading a comic, I'm like, this is enjoyable, but this for me was pulling me through the book of like, okay, who's next, and then like we're getting. We're introducing, the scope of this organization that we've seen, but we don't know why they exist or what they're doing. And when we get the actual reason that Crimson Dawn, how they reformed and why,
yeah, dude.
Oh, that makes sense. And now it's this crazy secret society, and this is also like I had a few dream pitches, and I feel like this book is setting up a bunch of those dream pitches.
Really interesting. Okay, dude. Again, not holding back on some of the spoilers because the reveal of why this comic exists is really interesting. I was not anticipating that, to be honest, and I really dig where they're going with it. The factions they bring in, I'm like, well, okay, like, and okay, the character at the very beginning, is that a brand new character or is that someone already established? I want to say that that's characters somewhere else, but I don't remember off the top of my head. Am I wrong on this?
That's how I feel.
Okay, so
I believe it's. I want to say it's new because I'm like, I feel like I would be able to place where they were from.
Exactly.
But here's my thought. Okay, something I've been saying for a long time is, if we get post Rise of Skywalker Star Wars content,
which I want,
the thing that Rey and her new Jedi Order needs to go up against is a new form of Darth Traya. If you played Knights of the Republic 2, Darth Traya's philosophy on the Force and it being the problem itself, I think that would be an incredible philosophy to happen specifically post Rise of Skywalker. And I feel like this character has some of that flavor in there. And the way that this comic starts, we could be. Oh, I have a whole pitch.
Bro, you're selling me on it, because first time I see her, I'm like, there's something different about this chica. I'm like, who is this chick? And I'm like, and it's just, I'm intrigued, especially the end. The end's really, it's like, oh God, like it tells you like it ain't gonna end well, which is cool. It's definitely Charles Soule, phenomenal writer, is setting up a great story here. I'm gonna wait for the trade just because I want to read it all at once and kind of get the brisk of it. But this is definitely a great setup. I gotta tell you, if you keep telling me it's great, I may have to keep reading it potentially. If you're like, well, you're selling me on something here. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, couple more things. We see Amara Vex is introduced as this bounty hunter chick that we see her snipe a ship.
Is she a Bosch, Ubanese or Obanese? That's what I thought.
I don't know. But
dude, that page.
Oh, that page is beautiful.
Phenomenal.
But the character is in the new Star Wars Hunters game that's coming out.
Oh, okay.
That's a Hunter's character. I don't know what that means, but Hunters looks like a weird. You get to be two Jawas in a trench coat, so I'm in. But on top of that, something I've been wanting is, I feel like Star Wars has been missing is more factions. You know what I mean? I'm a huge Legends fan, and in Legends we had the Corellians were off on their own thing. We had the Hapes Consortium over here. We had all these different factions, but seeing that pop up, seeing them name drop Prince Seizure,
I missed that. I overlooked that. I did hear people talk about that. I missed it when I read it. I just was like overlooked it.
Oh yeah. So he's canon, and
makes sense.
I mean, I can see some issues with consent.
Oh God! Oh no! You're shipping them. You're shipping Kira.
We don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how that plays out.
He's showing up though. This is like the setup for him, basically, which is cool. I think it's good.
But I think we're going to see all these people pop up, or their relationships, or the wars that. The conflicts that have been popping up between them, and see how they're making these conflicts happen. It's also awesome. I think there's going to be ramifications in Book of Boba Fett. I think Boba Fett's going to have to mend those fences that
they're doing, and that makes sense because at that point, this is also pre-Return of the Jedi, so Jabba's still in charge, so they're probably operating because obviously if they succeed, Jabba's next.
Yeah. I mean, this is like what, 6 years before?
About 6 years. That sounds about right, dude. That is interesting. I will say this: the Knights of Ren show up in this, and I was like, wait, what? I was like, I'm a big Knights of Ren fan. I love the Knights of Ren. Always have. Yeah. I'm not. I know they get.
The Ochi reveal. Oh,
dude, that was nuts, dude. That was nuts.
Did the big reveal happen here or in Vader?
It hasn't happened yet. I know something's coming though, because he's two different characters at this point. Like I can see.
It's it's setting up some really good stuff. And
I'm excited. It's good.
Another member that you'll find out in Vader that has me really excited too.
I'm excited. I've heard nothing but great things, and I'm really excited. So I'm waiting for the trades. I can go read them now, and maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. Bro, like this has been a blast. Like I feel like it's been like we've been doing this for like only like 20 minutes, and it's like an hour and a half. It's crazy.
Oh shoot, it has been a long time.
Dude, I told you. I was like, I feel bad. I'm like, dude, tell your wife I'm sorry. Don't hate me. I missed 10 calls from my wife because I was using my phone as the camera, and so I was like, oh, let's see. I'm like, oh god, I missed 10 calls. I'm deep SH here in a minute. She didn't leave any messages, so I think we're good. But you're like, wait, hold on, let me see. gotta check it out. This has been awesome, man. I have had a blast. We're gonna have. I want to have you on like in 2 weeks from now, so we can or after Book of Boba Fett, so we can talk about more comics and like this is phenomenal. Like I honestly am super stoked that we reconnected. Funny things just work out funny, Like I thought I was going solo tonight, and then I did not expect this to happen. This is phenomenal.
I was actually going to. I was supposed to record with Josh over at Den of Geeks.
Cool.
And then he canceled. And I was like, yeah, I could do it.
Dude, I'm glad he canceled because this is great. Like I'm just selfish. I'm obviously not even near as cool and like as popular as that guy. But but here's the thing. I just really appreciate you coming on. I had no idea you'd even heard of me before. I was like, this guy looks at me and goes, who the hell is this loser? And then you tell me listen to Blaster Cannon. I'm like, what the hell? That's honestly, it blows me away. I'm very, very humbled that you actually like listen to the show. That's awesome. I really missed doing that show. It was a lot of fun. So,
and this has also inspired me because I've been really bad at posting my own podcast for on just audio only platforms.
Yeah.
And like you get behind, and then like and then we start to get to December, and I get a couple people like message me like, hey, the High Ground was my most listened to thing this year, and I was like, oh, people listen to this.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I used to listen to it. Oh.
I still listen to my podcast. I love I go to sleep the podcast. I go, it's how I do, man. For people, again, you have a way bigger following than me, and there's like 3 people who follow me. The 3 people who follow me, you gotta subscribe to my homie here. This dude is legit. I love your enthusiasm. I love your passion. And it's never fake, and that's so missing in everything in life, much less YouTube, man. I mean, YouTube is full of just fake crap everywhere, and it's hard to see people who really love something and really love it and can criticize it and still love it, and it's hard to do those things, and you do that, and I want you to know it's appreciative. Someone like me who loves Star Wars as much as I do, I can see a kindred spirit in myself in many ways, but that was initially I was like, man, this guy gets it. You get it, and I really appreciate that. And we need more fans like you out there, sir. More fans out there, honestly.
And likewise.
No, thank you. It means a lot.
So thank you for inviting me, because I was like, you're like, oh yeah, I was like, Pete, wait.
Yeah, I know. That's hilarious, dude. That's hilarious. I messaged you on Twitter a while ago. And I never responded back, and I was like, "Oh, okay." It wasn't cool. I wasn't, hate on it or anything. It's all right. Don't worry. Just want to make you feel bad for a minute. I'm the king of guilt trips. No, it's cool. But it was a couple about a month ago, maybe, or a couple weeks ago. But no, I wanted to let you know. Like I thought, think you were great, and I want to have you back on. I gotta have you back on soon. I know you're busy, and
likewise, I will bring you on. I'm on 2 podcasts, the High Ground podcast, which is every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time.
Yeah.
And then me and my buddy Element 7 do Dyad in the Force on his channel.
Dyad's
Saturdays. But yeah, I mean, on both of those, we always like to bring people on and just with whatever they love, and we just chill. Dyad, we talk about whatever's in the news that's happening.
Sure, yeah.
On the High Ground, it's more evergreen. Tomorrow we're we're going to talk about the feminine gaze in Star Wars. I'm just going to kind of sit back and let these.
Yeah,
take over.
That's a good call.
It's
That's a good call.
It's fascinating to me, but we are
right.
also, and then the following week we're doing an original trilogy deep dive, which I'm super excited about. With some
that'll be very interesting.
I will definitely bring you on for my sequel deep dive if you.
Oh, I'm in. Sir, you just asked me to come on. I'll come on anything. I love talking with you, and I'm sure me and you could literally we talk for we're almost 2 hours now. We're doing this. I gotta wrap this up, and we can talk after we're done. But we could talk about anything for a long time. And Star Wars, I think we could just eons of time. So, hey everyone, go follow him on Darth Chalk. I want to call my real name. I'm not sure if that's taboo or not. No,
you can call me Brandon.
Okay.
I don't say Brandon now because there's stuff in the news that people.
No, right. No, yeah, right. Oh, no, I got you. Because I was looking at old videos. I'm like, what's his real name? I was like, I don't think I ever heard it. I kept looking back. I'm like, he doesn't say his name. Maybe he's like private, which it was cool, but.
I work
understand
in the financial industry. It's not a problem, but I'm like, I don't need that.
That's fair. No, that's fair. Well, go follow Darth Chaco on YouTube. All the Instagrams, the Twitters, do it. Like, you won't regret it. It's awesome. And subscribe my video, I guess. I don't know, like 2 hours in, you probably already turned it off, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Guys, everyone, super excited. We'll have him back on. We're going to do more Star Wars required reading here. My buddy Tim from Saga Continues. We're going to do more of that stuff. We're going to do that, and we will be on soon. And as always, read more comics. Goodbye, everybody.